then make this nano and microplastic into, again, to petroleum and gas.
Yes, absolutely. The machine, the beauty of it, the machine is that it is not limited to the plastic that is put in, right? So typical recycling, for example, you cannot put in plastic that has food residue on it. But as we know, almost all plastic has food residue, oil residue, so they can't recycle most plastic. But this machine, since it's utilizing heat, and heat breaks down everything, it doesn't matter what type of plastic it is, whether it's microplastic, whether it is contaminated with, products from the ocean or dirt. It will go into the machine, it will break it all down into petroleum products, no matter how big it is, no matter how small it is. So microplastics can absolutely go inside of the machine.
Amazing. Can you tell us about, because we know about your collaboration with
Moses West?
Yeah.
Yes. So in September of 2024, I traveled to Pennsylvania to meet with Moses West. And Moses West, of course, creates the atmospheric water generators. So he has an AWG 5000, which is capable of making a ton of water every hour, every day. And so I saw the machine in person, and I brought with me some of my fuel made from plastic. Now, when I make my fuel from plastic, this oil that comes over, it can be refined into alternatives to gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel.
So he made plastic, basically gas and diesel, and another black guy named Noah made a machine that pulls water from the air and cleans it. So he can use the plastic to power his machine. And let's get this show started. Entertainment purposes only.
There are some of us, few of us, who were born different. Not better, not broken, just different. From the beginning, we felt the hum of the world beneath its noise. We sensed things others ignored, picked up vibrations that had no name, saw sadness hiding behind smiles, rage behind polite tones, despair in the silence. We were the children who asked too many questions, who stared too long, who cried when the room didn't feel right, not because of what was said, but because of what was not. We grew into adults who carry invisible weights, not from failure or weakness, but from awareness, an unbearable awareness of every fracture, every tension, every unspoken truth lurking beneath the surface of this overly bright, artificially calm world.
I can't go into too much detail, but there is some very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack right now in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know.
He wasn't your typical inventor. Julian Brown, or as the internet knew him, Nature Jab, was like a modern-day alchemist. He claimed he could turn plastic waste into fuel using something as ordinary as a microwave reactor.
Listen, everybody, I got crazy news that we need to make go viral. The whole world needs to know this. The biggest achievement ever. This is diesel I made from plastic waste. Plastic diesel, okay? From mixed plastic waste, unsorted and dirty plastics. I sent this fuel sample to two different labs, two independent labs, one in Houston, Texas, and one in Vancouver, Washington. And guess what? Both labs told me that this fuel right here is equitable to diesel from the pump. This fuel right here is...
They call us too sensitive. They call us too intense. Too much. But they don't understand what it costs to live this way. To feel everything. It's not a switch you can turn off. It's not a choice. It's not a flaw. It's a way of being in the world that doesn't fit into the script they handed us. While most people walk through life wearing armor made of numbness, we walk around with open wounds. Not because we want to, but because our soul refuses to shut its eyes. And that's the difference. We see. We feel.
actually even cleaner than fuel from the pump, because they have certain additives they add to make sure they know when there's leaks of this fuel. This doesn't even have that in there. This will not destroy your engine. This will not give you crazy types of cancer, and I have the scientific data to prove it. We have the GC from both labs, or the...
We remember not just events, but the emotional imprints they leave behind. We notice the pauses in conversation that signal what someone isn't saying. We feel the sorrow beneath the laughter. We detect the fractures in people's spirits, the scars they've forgotten to hide.
Online security is like one of
come completely loose. While driving at nearly 70 miles per hour, one of his front wheels nearly flew off.
A few days ago, 2 days ago, all 10 of my lug nuts on my front wheels were loosened completely. And one of my wheels almost flew off going 70 miles per hour on the interstate. And of course, I had my...
We're not just emotional, we're tuned in. Our nervous systems act like antennas, absorbing every signal, every frequency. From words to body language, from colors to chaos. We feel the room before we speak in it. We feel the pain before it's ever spoken aloud. And that is exhausting in a way most can't comprehend.
Car in the shop to get the wheel bearings replaced. So the first thing I did was call the mechanic, of course, and be like, what is this? Why are my lug nuts not tightened? And on the phone, he sounded really, really like distressed. Like he was like, it sounded almost like somebody was like holding a gun to his head the way he sounded on the phone. Like he sounded scared.
A mechanical failure that could have easily cost him his life. Shaken but composed, Julian filmed the damage and shared his suspicion that this wasn't an accident. The timing of the incident raised serious questions. Julian had been gaining massive attention for his plastic-to-fuel reactor and speaking more boldly about its potential impact. To his supporters, this near disaster wasn't just a fluke, it felt like a warning. Was someone trying to stop him? The video quickly spread, with viewers debating whether it was sabotage, paranoia, or something far more sinister. But then, in July 2025, things got strange. Julian posted something that stopped people cold. Something is happening.
All right, listen, everybody. I can't go into too much detail, but there is some...
We don't tire from doing too much. We tire from being too present. From constantly digesting emotional noise the world has long stopped hearing. From carrying the ache of other people's suffering as if it were written into our own DNA. We're expected to function like everyone else. Show up, smile, nod, shake hands, make small talk. But every interaction is a storm. Every errand is a performance. Every social setting is an environment laced with overstimulation and pretense. We aren't designed for shallow living. We're wired for depth.
Very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack right now in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know to just kind of have your eyes open. And I have my eyes open, but there's a lot going on. So I'm still working. I'm still building. Nothing's gonna stop that. But I'm just telling you guys right now, be on the lookout because I'm under attack.
In one of the most alarming moments leading up to his disappearance, Julian posted a chilling message on his YouTube channel that stopped viewers in their tracks. He wrote, "Everyone, me and my entire family are under attack right now from an extremely powerful force. I need your prayers and awareness." The post sparked immediate concern, with fans flooding the comments in disbelief and support. It wasn't clear who or what he was referring. Was he about to crack the code on cheap, clean fuel? Or was it all smoke and mirrors? Critics say he was just playing scientist, but his fans? They think he was silenced. This isn't just a missing person story. It's a digital ghost story, a mystery unfolding in real time, cautionary tale, or maybe, just maybe, the start of something way bigger than any of us expected. Who?
For meaning, for truth. And so the world becomes a hostile place. Not because but because it demands a rhythm we were never meant to dance to. And when we try, is unbearable. And we begin to question ourselves, why am I like this? Why can't I be easier? Why does everything hurt? But it's not a malfunction. It's your depth. And the deeper you are, the harder it is to swim in the shallows of society. Carl Jung called this the path of individuation, becoming who you truly are by diving beneath the mask.
In the ocean like that? No.
Julian,
Thank you for having me here. How are you?
very, very good. We're really excited to meet you, to see what you find out. It's like really mind-blowing. Everyone is discussing the problem of the plastic. Nobody knows what to do with it, how to, solve this problem. And you found the way how
Right.
we can find the benefit of it. So, and I would like, anyway, first of all, ask you what your journey, what inspired you to really, like, how has it happened so that all of a sudden you found this innovation?
Yes, so for me, it started when I was in high school. I started gardening. And when I was gardening, of course, being in nature, I started to understand how the natural world works. And so if you look at, for example, the woods, right? The trees, the leaves fall into the ground, and those leaves are not waste, right? Those leaves end up becoming fertilizer for the same trees that shed them. And so I realized that us as humans, we are the only thing that produces waste. We have landfills, we have litter, everything else in nature, everything feeds itself. And so in gardening, you can compost all of your food waste.
Truly are by diving beneath the mask. And this path is not for the faint of heart. It demands pain. It demands solitude. It demands facing the parts of yourself the world never had time to meet. Most people are sleepwalking. They live on autopilot. They want easy answers, instant fixes, bite-sized truths. But you are awake. You feel every inch of your existence. And that makes you dangerous. Because someone who feels too much sees too much.
But when you do that, you have plastic left over. And so I saw all this plastic, and I was thinking, what can be done with it? And then at the same time, for the first time in my environmental science class, I saw clips of how there's plastic in the ocean. And they showed us a clip of a turtle that had a straw in its nose, and it was bleeding. They had to pull it out. And all I could ask was, what is the solution? Because all we're seeing is the problem. And so I wanted to start to do research to figure out, they had to pull it out. And all I could ask was, what is the solution? Because all we're seeing is the problem.
And society doesn't want that. It doesn't want mirrors. It wants conformity. It wants masks. It wants simple, palatable, and obedient souls.
And so I wanted to start to do research to figure out, why do we have waste as humans? What is plastic? What is it made of? And I found out that plastic is made of petroleum or crude oil, the same thing we make our fuels out of. So then I started, why do we have waste as humans? What is plastic? What is it made of? And I found out that plastic is made of petroleum or crude oil, the same thing we make our fuels out of. So then I started to ask, why is it not recycled? Because less than 5% of plastic is recycled. So even when you put plastic in your recycle bin, the chances of it being recycled are so low, it usually just ends up in a different country, where it ends up in a river, or is burned, ends up in the ocean. And to me, I think, it made me, upset. I was angry because I was paying for recycling, and they were lying to my face saying we're recycling it. You can look up stories of people saying the recycling trucks go to the same area that the landfill trucks go to throw it in the same spot. And
Who follow the program. But you're not programmable. You're not scalable. You're not marketable in the way they want. Because you bring the full force of presence into a room. And that presence makes people uncomfortable.
so I started to do research into what plastic was. I found it's made of fuel. So I was like, okay, well, how can we turn it back into fuel? So I found the process of pyrolysis. And at this point, I was around the 11th grade, so I was around 16 years old, and I was inside of a welding program in high school. And so being a part of that program in welding, you learn how to build with metal, how to put together metal. So when I found that there was a way to turn plastic into fuel, you have to build what's called a reactor, a pyrolysis reactor out of metal. and I was a welder. I knew how to build with metal. So I put together my first pyrolysis reactor in the 12th grade. I was 17 years old. It was around the size of a crock pot.
And that presence makes people uncomfortable. Why? Because it forces them to feel, to question, to remember. And so, you begin to hide. You start to dilute yourself. You wear the mask to avoid rejection. You smile when you're dying inside. You soften your voice, mute your feelings, dumb yourself down, just to be tolerable, just to be liked, just to be allowed to exist.
Out of metal, and I was a welder. I knew how to build with metal. So I put together my first pyrolysis reactor in the 12th grade. I was 17 years old. It was around the size of a crock pot. Like, you could fit it on this table here. And I wanted to see if this is real. And it was real, turning the plastic into fuel. The machine worked. And so I started to continue to build more and more machines, and I started to innovate by utilizing microwaves with the machine. Because my theory was, if we can use microwaves to turn plastic into fuel, microwaves, you see, operate off of electricity. And electricity can come from nuclear, solar, wind, etc. We can take renewable energy to get rid of waste, and then at the same time create fuels.
That's amazing. Like, when I was thinking about that, I assumed that you were about like 17 or 18 years old. And I was like, that's so amazing that we have some young people.
Tell me, Vegeta, with that stamp on your head, I know Bobity's been giving you orders. Is this one of them? Are you trying to fight me because of him? Or is this the same old story between you and me? Which one? Does it really matter? Not to you, Gohan, but to a warrior it matters greatly. And you know this as well as I do, Kakarot. In a day, you'll be back to the dead, and I will not miss this opportunity. Who are you people? Don't you see the universe matters more than your meaningless squabble? Meaningless, huh? What do you know of meaningless? Spend most of your life ruled by another. Watch your race dwindle to a handful. Spend most of your life ruled by another. Watch your race dwindle to a handful.
For me to come from a perspective of, okay, how can I do this and create something that can help all of the world without, without being taken advantage of, or it being silenced. And so then that's what inspired me to start to share my journey online. See, the research of plastic in the fuel, I was researching his story and how I would say that Nikola Tesla was somebody I looked up to a lot.
Or did you have any of your, scientific heroes, somebody who you follow or something like that?
I would say that Nikola Tesla was somebody I looked up to a lot because I always came from the perspective of humanity, right? Like, everything I want to do is not for profit, it's not for self-gain, it's for humanity. And Nikola Tesla, he was the same way. So when I was, doing the same research,
Ruled by another. Watch your race dwindle to a handful. And then tell me what has more meaning than your own strength. I have in me the blood of a Saiyan prince. He is nothing but a joke. Yet I've had to watch him surpass me in strength. My destiny thrown to the wayside. He's even saved my life as if I were a helpless child. He has stolen my honor. And his debts must be paid.
research of plastic in the fuel, I was researching his story and how he, he's the reason why we have AC electricity and how he was taken advantage of and all these types of things and his ambitions for all of humanity. And it inspired me to come from a perspective of, okay, how can I do this and create something that can help all of the world without, without being taken advantage of or it being silenced. And so then that's what inspired me to start to share my journey online. See, the first year or two, when I first started building my first reactors, I filmed footage, but I never published it online. I filmed footage just for myself. But I came to the realization that I should share this with the world, because I remember the place I was in when I was in 10th grade and I first learned about the oceans and all this. And all they tell us about is the problem. And so when I learned that they don't even recycle, I felt so hopeless. I felt like, it's the end of humanity, because they
I command respect and admiration from everyone around me. I trust my instincts and make decisions that reflect my thoughts. Nothing stands in my way. I am the force of nature and the world bends to my will. I dictate the terms of success, and everyone naturally follow my lead. Others are merely shadows in my light. What I do today becomes the standard of tomorrow.
They don't tell us about the solution. So I said, you know what? People deserve to know that something is being done and that there is a solution being worked on. Even if it takes, 5-10 years to get there, people deserve to know that something is being done.
That's amazing, really amazing. And
Diesel, even jet fuel, right from trash. And the wild part, he was doing it all in his backyard. With over 1.7 million followers on Instagram and fans all over the world, Julian became more than just a content creator. He became a symbol of DIY innovation, climate
Challenges only serve to showcase my strength. My words shape the thoughts of many. Anything less is unacceptable. My energy and ambition are unmatched. Everything revolves around my vision. I inspire loyalty and devotion. My mere presence demands attention. I shape the narrative. My influence transforms the landscape. I command every room. My path is one that others aspire to follow.
hope, and maybe even a cleaner future. In March of this year, Julian Brown posted a video that sent chills through his followers. In what can only be described as a harrowing moment, he revealed that all 10 of the lower lug nuts on his two front tires had somehow come completely loose. While driving at nearly 70 miles per hour, one of his front wheels nearly flew off.
A few days ago, 2 days ago, all 10 of my lug nuts on my front wheels were loosened completely. And one of my wheels almost flew off going 70 miles per hour on the interstate. And of course, I had my car in the shop to get the
You're not there.
I'm certainly under attack right now from in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know because I'm under attack.
In one of the most alarming moments leading up to his disappearance, Julian posted a chilling message on his YouTube channel that stopped viewers in
Redeemer, the Lord Almighty. I am the first, and I am the last. Apart from me, there is no God. Who then is like me? Let him proclaim it. Let him declare and lay out before me what has happened since I established my ancient people, and what is yet to come. Yes, let them foretell what will come. Do not tremble, do not be afraid. Did I not proclaim this and foretell it long ago? You are my witnesses. Is there any God besides me? No.
Would there ever be
There
many?
is no other rock. I know not one. I will go before you and will level the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. I will give you
So he has an AWG 5000, which is capable of making a ton of water every hour, every day. And so I saw the machine in person, and I brought with me some of my fuel made from plastic. Now, when I make my fuel from plastic, this oil that comes over, it can be refined into alternatives to gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. I call them plastiline, plastidieseln, and plastic kerosene. So I took some of my plastidieseln with me when I met Moses West, because his AWG 5000 that makes the air into water, well, it has a backup diesel generator on it. So
Who summons you by name? I am the Lord, and there is. I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord, the God of Israel, who summons you by name. I am the Lord, and there is no other. Apart from me, there is no God. I will strengthen you, though you have not acknowledged me. Leave him! 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 That ain't your job. So you should be further along in your ministry. You should be further along in your finance. But you spend a considerable amount of time talking to people you love about what God told. I told you to do this. You ain't got to get their cosign to do what I told you to do. Do what I told you to do.